YouTube, what's going on? I'm back, Mighty Fine here for another weekly analysis. Last week was pretty slow and choppy. I was on vacation for a few weeks. It was nice. I took some time on it, but we're right back at it. And let's just dive straight into it. So one thing that I want you to consider is that fundamentally, I think the dollar is looking pretty bullish. People like Goldman Sachs are pointing towards a further strong dollar situation. And then I think technically also it's looking quite bullish. If you look up at the weekly, even the monthly here, we can see that we had this, bit of supply that we're running into, but just a massive amount of momentum and volume to the upside here. And we're looking to potentially crack into new highs. Price needs to get above this in order to provide that expansion of the trend, right? So anything above that looks very, very bullish. But as of right now, from here to here is going to be our daily leg that we care about. And this is going to be my daily demand right there. Obviously 4-hour demand here as well. So if price cracks below this, it may turn into a retracement relative to like this daily leg. However, I wouldn't necessarily look for shorts. I'm just interested on whether price can break above that or not. So as price comes into this kind of refined area of supply, you're just looking for a continued push to the upside. Price may pull back into, for example, this area. If we see an intraday transition and then more bullish pressure, we might be able to time a nice continuation move based on dollar's behavior. So overall, long on the dollar, and that's going to help us inform our decisions on other pairs that we're about to look at in a second. Let's look at Aussie dollar, one that is obviously in a pretty bearish trend, big expansion to the downside here. As we come into the daily, we can see that we have a very clear daily supply, new leg to the downside as well. We're looking for a retracement relative to this arrow right here. If we can get a retracement relative to that, then we may see a continuation style move, maybe something like that, into new lows here. Overall target is going to be all the way down here at like 68.5. So keep that in mind. Yeah, and then let's dive into the 4-hour here. This is obviously your 4-hour supply as well. Two ways that I think this could play out. One, you get a retracement just relative to the H4 supply. You get some sort of transitional behavior in here. That's where you're going to look for your entry opportunity. And then you're looking for an expansion into new lows potentially. It could obviously just open and melt, but you're looking for a retracement relative to the current leg here. Another area that I want to highlight for you is right up here. If you go to the 2-hour time frame, this is an interesting little block of liquidity right there. So keep that in mind. Price could pull back into that. There was a pretty big decision made there that I find interesting. So there you go. GBPUSD, same thing. Looking for a bearish continuation. Obviously, big, strong leg here. If you go to the 4-hour chart, this is kind of your 4-hour supply, really like right here, I would say. So if price breaks above that, you may see a deeper retracement relative to this overall daily bearish leg. This is where price pivoted and turned over. So this is the top of that transition that represents that leg. It can pull back anywhere within this and still maintain its bearish trend. But overall, we're just looking for kind of a retracement, really more so relative to this daily supply that I have marked out for you here. And could be here, could be somewhere up like this, maybe potentially. As you dive in, you'll be able to see a couple of refinements of that area as well that you can look into, but you're just looking for something like this. Pull back into maybe the important number of 1.25. If price can pull back in 1.25-ish, and then we provide an intraday transition on maybe the 15-minute chart, then you can look to time an entry and look for that pro flow continuation into new lows past 1.230. GJ, on the other hand, is looking very bullish. We had a nice trend expansion this last week here. As price comes back against this overall bullish leg, I want to consider potentially this area right over here, and then obviously this daily demand down here as well. I would want to highlight for you that we have a very clear H4 break of flow right here as well. Then we've got some like H1 demand down here that I find interesting. But big injection of capital, big amounts of volume here. We are seeing that retracement start, so hold tight. It's very likely that we'll see a continued bearish flow down into maybe one of these areas here, something like that. But here's where I would start to look for a bullish transition, either here or down over here somewhere. And overall, you're just looking for that pullback and then a continuation into new highs past your current flow high of 168.7879. Same deal with EUR JPY. Very, very similar situation here as we go into the daily. Obviously, very, 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 very bullish. Started that retracement as well. So we just want to consider, like, where is it going to pull back into, essentially. I'm starting to get interested in 139 region over here. And then obviously we've got a lot of demand down here as well to consider and watch. Daily demand is indicated here at 135, pretty much flush. But yeah, H4 break of flow here indicates that our retracement has started on a intraday time frame. We may see continued bearish pressure. If you want to trade counter, that's your prerogative, but you're looking for a pullback and a new flow continuation, maybe down into this area short term. Just understand that it has a shorter time horizon because it is a counter trend trade. When price comes back into a liquidity block where they want to push into a new trend high, it's going to rip against you. So lock in that profit if you do take that counter trade. Food for thought. So here we go. So massive, massive, massive bullish candle here. At the end of the week. Very interested to see how this continues to play out as we head into the new week. I'm not going to go to the daily because there's really not much to look at. You're trading relative to this big dildo of a candle right here. So areas that I start to get interested in are here around 158.65. A transition within this area. I would have to see a strong, M15 transition within this area to look for a continuation into new highs. If price cracks below this, I'm anticipating price will pull back towards 1832.99 roughly, and then provide that transition. If price goes below 1825, there's absolutely nothing for you to do on gold. However, I think that's highly unlikely, particularly considering the political climate right now. This is a safe haven asset. And that's it, guys. Short and sweet. I tried to be quick this week. Hopefully I didn't talk too damn fast. Continued dollar strength, bearish moves on dollar-backed assets. Yen is weak, so go long on yen, but be patient for the pullback and time it appropriately. And then watch gold for potentially explosive retest into new highs. That's it. If you want to learn how to trade like I trade, I got some new stuff coming, including potentially a installment payment plan, other payment options, all that kind of stuff if you want to get involved in my course and community. Every new student gets a little one-on-one with me as well, so we get you started right. I've got a Discord where I send out links to live trading sessions every day. I'm far and above one of the best options if you want to learn how to do this consistently. If not, make sure you're in my Discord, tune into these analysis, study on your own, no skin off my back. I hope it goes well. Be patient, take trades for a reason, follow your trade plan, trade smart, and trade safe. Until next week, Mighty Fine out.